Very good evening, dear students. In the previous video, we have determined the metal-metal bond in the low nuclearity carbonyl cluster B. They are also called as LNCC, low nuclearity carbonyl clusters. Means the number of metal atoms are less than equal to 4. And during the calculation of metal-metal bond, we have used 3 steps. In the first step, we have calculated the total valence electron. In the second step, we have subtracted the total valence electron from the term n into 18, and the third step, the number of electrons obtained in the second step are divided by 2, and that term will give the number of metal-metal bond in the complex. And these are the 3 steps which are involved for the calculation of metal-metal bond in the organometallic compound. When we divide total valence electron by n, we will get, if we get 18 electron, then there is no metal-metal bond per metal. But if the value of total valence electron divided by n is equal to 17, then there is a presence of one metal-metal bond per metal. Similarly, if the value of A by n is equal to 16, then there will be two metal-metal bond per metal. If the value of A by n means the value of A by n is equal to 15, then there will be 3 metal-metal bond per metal. If the value of A by n is equal to 14, then there is a presence of 4 metal-metal bond per metal. And this process is not applicable to high nuclearity carbonyl clusters. So these are the few examples of low nuclearity carbonyl cluster, and first one is M2CO10, where the metal may be manganese, technetium and rhenium. The first step is total valence electron in the molecule. So there are two metal atoms, value is equal to 2 into 7. 7 means the number of valence electron either in manganese, technetium or rhenium, that is equal to 17, plus the number of electron donated by each ligand, which is equal to 2. Similarly, there are 10 carbon molecule, then we will get 34. In the second step, we have subtracted this 34 from the term 2 into 18, which is equal to 2. The third step, this B term is divided by 2 will give rise to the total number of metal-metal bond in the molecule. If we divide total valence electron by n, where n is the number of metal atoms, so there are 2 metal atoms and total valence electrons are 34, which is divided by 2 and it will result 17. It means there is one metal-metal bond per metal atom. Now we can draw the structure of this compound. There are two manganese, there is a presence of one metal-metal bond, and each manganese will have 5 terminal carbonyl molecule, and each manganese will follow the 18 electron rule. There are 5 carbonyl molecule and each carbonyl will contribute to and 2 into 5, 10, plus each manganese will have 7 electrons in their valence shell, and this single bond is shared by 2 manganese, and each manganese will get 1 electron for this bond. Then there are total 18 electrons. So in this way we can find out the structure of Mn2CO10. Similarly, the structure of CO2CO8. So firstly we have calculated the total valence electron. There are 9 electrons in there. There are 9 electrons in their valence shell. There are 2 metal atoms. It means 2 into 9 plus there is 2 electron contribution by each carbonyl, and 2 into 8, that is equal to 34. That is the first step, total valence electron. In the second step, n into 18. N means number of metal atoms. There are 2 into 18 minus 34, which is equal to 2. That is the value of B. When we divide this B by 2, will result 1. It means there is one metal-metal bond in the complex. We divide the total valence electron 34 by n, and the value of n is equal to 2. Then the value is 17. There is a presence of one metal-metal per metal-metal bond per metal. So this is the structure of CO2CO8. These are the two structures. First one is in the solid state. So in the solid state, there are 2 carbonyl molecules are in the bridging position, whereas 6 carbonyls are at the terminal position. But in the solution state, there is no bridging carbonyl ligand, and in both the structure, each cobalt atom will follow 18 electron rule. So there are 3 carbonyl, means electron contributions is 6. There are 9 electrons in the valence shell of each cobalt, and 2 carbonyl are in the bridging position. They will contribute 2 electrons, 1 electron by each bridging ligand, and there is a presence of one single bond between the 2 carbonyl and each cobalt will get 1 electron. Then there are total 18 electrons for each cobalt atom. Similarly, in case of the structure of CO2CO8 in the solution state, there are 4 carbonyls in the terminal positions that will contribute 8 electrons, and 1 cobalt that will have 9 electrons in their valence shell, and there is one single bond between the 2 cobalt atom, and each cobalt will get 1 electron. So in this way, each cobalt will follow or will get 18 electrons. So in this way, we can determine the structure of CO2CO8. Similarly, in case of Fe2CO9, we have calculated the total valence electron. There are 8 electrons in the valence shell of iron family, and 8 into 2 plus 2 electron contribution by each carbonyl. There are 9 carbonyl molecule, then 2 into 9, total is 34 total valence electron. Then this 34 is floated from n into 18. The value of n is equal to 2, means the number of metal atoms. 2 into 18 minus 34 is equal to 2. When we divide this B term by 2, will give the total number of metal-metal bond in the complex. Similarly, when we divide total valence electron by the value of N, means the total number of metal atoms in the molecule or in the complex, then we will get the number of metal-metal bond per metal, which is equal to 1 in case of Fe2CO9. So this is the structure of Fe2CO9. There are two iron atoms. There is only one metal-metal bond. So this is a single bond between the two iron atoms. There are three carbonyls are present in the terminal position for the first iron. Similarly, in the second iron, there are three carbonyls at the terminal positions, and three carbonyls are present in the bridging position, and each iron will also follow 18 electron rule. We can write it as mu2 CO thrice Fe2 CO6. The 6 carbonyls are at the terminal positions and 3 carbonyls are at the bridging position. In the last one, Fe3CO12. The first step is we have to calculate the total valence electron, which is equal to A. There are 3 metal atoms, 3 into 8 electron in the valence shell, plus there are 12 carbonyl molecule, and each carbonyl will contribute 2 electron. Then we will get the 48 valence electron in the entire molecule. In the second step, we have to subtract this total valence electron from the term n into 18. The value of n is equal to 3 in the complex. So 3 into 18 minus 48, we will get 6. When we divide this 6 or the term B by 2, we will get 3. It means in this molecule we have 3 metal-metal bonds. So there are 3 metal atoms which are present at the terminal positions or in the triangular position. So there are 3 metal-metal bond. Now we have to fix the position of carbonyl molecule. So there are 3 carbonyls for each iron atom, and 2 of the carbonyl are also present at the bridging position. Similarly, for each iron atom, we will get, or we have to follow the 18 electron. So here iron will have 8 electrons. There are 3 terminal carbonyl groups that will contribute 6 electrons. Then 2 carbonyls are at the bridging position. It means there are 2 electrons by each bridging carbonyl. There is a presence of one single bond between the 2 iron that will contribute 1 electron for each iron, and there are 2 metal-metal bond per metal. So there is 1 electron. So in this way we will get 18 electron. 8, 6, 14, 2, 16, 17, 18. So each metal will get 18 electron. So in this case, in this way we can find out the structure of different carbonyl cluster.